Hello everyone and welcome to Deano Outdoors. In this video, I'm going to show how you can extend your battery charging cable on your NOCO Genius GenPro. I'll start off by showing you everything you're going to need to get started, and then I'll walk you through a step-by-step process to extending your charging cables. So let's get started. All right, so after several emails with NOCO, they informed me that you can extend your battery charging cables on your onboard GenPro Series battery charger. Why they make the battery cable so short to begin with, I'm not sure why. Because my battery charger sits up underneath my console. The wires run underneath here and come out under the helm, and my loose wires sit here. They only give you 6 feet of charging cable. I need it to run from here all the way back to where my starting battery sits back here. So NOCO told me that if you snip your wires here after these inline fuses, you can extend your battery charging cable an additional 10 feet using 14 AWG wire. So here is everything you're going to need to accomplish this project. I'm using 14 AWG stranded copper wire, solder seal wire connectors, and I like to use these solder seals because they not only have the shrink tubing on them, but they also have the solder that melts to help bond your wires together. You're going to need your battery terminals, a wire puller, a snips, a wire crimper, and a wire stripper. And finally, you're going to need a heat gun. And I'll have a link to all these products in the description for you. So the first step you're going to need to do is take your wire puller, have your wire handy. We are going to run this wire puller from the battery under the gunwale here and up front underneath the console, so we can get at our wire and be able to feed it back through. If you don't have a wire puller, you're going to have a very difficult time feeding this wire all the way through this whole section. So I recommend either borrowing, renting, or buying, these are pretty cheap, a wire puller. Now that we have our wire puller through the gunwale, we're going to tape on our positive and negative cables, and make sure you tape this on really good. The last thing you want to do is lose your wires up in there and have to do this process over. So we're just going to get some electrical tape here, wrap it around really good, and now we're going to feed our wire through. With your wires fed all the way back to the battery box, now you're going to strip off about a 1/2 inch of your wire. Then make sure you take your heat shrink tubing that comes with these wire terminals and place them over the top of the corresponding wire color. And with your battery terminal here, slide that through, and then we're going to crimp that tight. Once you have that crimped on, you're good. Give it a good tug, make sure it's on there firmly. Slide up your heat shrink tubing up over the top. And with your heat gun on low, we're going to shrink that down. Now we're going to come up to the front of the boat here where we have our charging cables, and we're going to snip it off after the fuse. Then strip off the 1/2 inch of wire from all 4 ends. Now grab one of your 14 AWG solder seal connectors. Slide that over one end of your wire here. And then twist these together slightly and slide that solder seal over the top of both wires. And when using these solder seals, what you want is both ends of the wires overlapping, and that solder seal, the solder part inside here, to be over the center of your bare wires. So we'll make sure that we got those wires in there nice. That's over the top. If you're happy with where it's at, get out your heat gun and just shrink that tight. Just keep heating it until you see that solder melt. Once the solder starts to melt, you can take the heat off of it. And this is what it should look like when it's finished. Now go ahead and do that on the positive side. All we have left to do now is connect the negative and positive to our battery terminals, plug in our NOCO Genius GenPro charger, and program the third bank for what type of battery we're using. In this case, this is going to be a lead acid battery. So select lead acid battery or lithium or whatever type of battery you have, and that's it, you're all set. Let your batteries charge up and go hit the water and catch some fish. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys found this video helpful. The total overall installation process to extend the charging cables took me about 20 minutes, and most of that time was spent feeding the wire through the gunwale underneath. I did have a little bit of a situation here on the bend of the corner, getting my wire puller through that tunnel, but after that everything went pretty smooth. This is a NOCO Genius 3-bank battery charger. I have 2 batteries up front running my trolling motor, and 1 battery back here for my starting battery. So there's not going to be enough cable to run all the way back to the starting battery. And for most of you guys, you're going to be in the same situation where your trolling batteries are up front and your starting battery is in the back, and you're going to have to extend the charging cable like I did. If you guys are interested in seeing how to install and program the NOCO Genius GenPro, I have a video out on that. I'll leave that in the description for you guys as well. And if you guys are interested in checking out the NOCO Genius GenPro charger, I'll leave a link in the description for that too. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching, and remember to get outdoors with Deano.
Girls with their nails done.